We'll get started. Thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful yoga class today with an amazing group of women from an organization called Breastfriends in Tigard, Oregon. I've linked their website in the description box below. So if you or anyone you know might benefit from their support and their services, you can reach out directly to them. They're very responsive, very helpful, and just an amazing group of people. So today we are practicing from our yoga mats, but if you are sitting in a chair, I will offer some variations for that as well. So let's all just come to whatever tall seat suits you best. I'm sitting on a pillow here, which is really nice for letting your hips get a little bit of breathing space from your knees. But whatever tall seat suits you best, you could have your legs out straight. You could be sitting in your chair or on your heels, on a bolster, or right there on the floor. No, nothing special required. This whole class is about honoring yourself and your practice. We don't all want to look the same because we don't all look the same. We all have different bodies with different needs in different stages of health and recovery and wellness. So please do honor that. And if I guide you to do something that does not feel good in your body, feel free to skip it and do something completely different. Or even if you just want to sit or breathe and or lay down and just be with yourself and rest for this time together, you're still practicing yoga. So whatever tall seat you are sitting in today, let's just go ahead and take a couple nice cleansing breaths to really drop into your body and kind of release the rest of the day. So as you inhale, you might welcome yourself to your practice. Inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, you could let it go with a sigh out the nose or out the mouth. And as you exhale, just releasing whatever's going on in your life today, whatever stuff you've been doing, whatever's on your to-do list, whatever plans you're making for the weekend, just let it go. So let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, welcome yourself to your practice, to your body. And exhale, let go of any distractions, any plans, any ruminations. Come back to your regular natural breath for a moment or two. And just notice whatever slight shift you've already been able to achieve, just to be present with yourself. And then one more time, let's inhale in through the nose. Open up the mouth and let it go. And then let's just find our center here. So maybe just a little sway from side to side. You could get your shoulders involved and your neck involved. It's nice and slow. Think seaweed at the bottom of the ocean, just kind of going with the flow. And find that place where you're not sitting too far to the left or too far to the right, but right there at the center. And then a little rocking back and forward. And it's kind of interesting to notice if you have a tendency to sort of be sitting forward, maybe to always be moving towards the next thing, or tendency to sit back, which might indicate a reluctance or a resistance for whatever that next thing is. When you find that place where you're neither too far forward or too far back, where your head is over your heart and your heart is over your pelvis, you have found your center. Feel your feet touching the ground. Bring your attention to your sit bones where they're being supported. Notice the sensation of your hands resting in your lap, on your thighs or your knees. And just notice how it feels to be in your body. You might notice your breath, your heartbeat, the feeling of the fabric underneath or on your body. It's really offering yourself presence. You tend to be mental time travelers, ruminating on the past or planning for the future, but for right now, we're going to be present. And anytime you notice any thoughts coming up, just gently bring yourself back to paying attention to your breath and the sensations of your body. Let's go ahead and bring one hand and then the other over the heart. Relax your shoulders and kind of tuck your chin back just a little bit so that your neck is nice and long as well. With your hands on your hearts, you might just set an intention for your practice today. Whether that is just to be more present or to build strength or balance or flexibility, maybe to just show yourself some compassion, maybe just to take a break and rest, whatever is true for you today. I want you to hold that intention right here at your heart. And if nothing comes to mind, maybe something will open up for you during the course of a practice together as you're present with yourself. Just a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready with your next inhale, let's open the arms out nice and wide. And as you exhale, wrap your arms around yourself. Give yourself a nice big hug. Now, maybe your hands don't reach very far, maybe just to the upper arms, maybe to the shoulders, whatever's true for you. Just find that edge of sensation and just give yourself a little squeeze hug here. And as you're here, you might focus on the sensation in your upper back, right there between your shoulder blades, and just notice your breath there as you inhale and it expands, drawing your shoulder blades away from one another. And as you exhale, just letting them settle back in and down. Just breathing here for a few more breaths. Long neck, relaxing your jaw, holding yourself in compassion and tenderness. And you can stay here in stillness if you like, or you might inhale and reach your elbows up to the sky, and exhale to draw them to point down towards your lap. Now, as you move here, you might let your back arch as you inhale the elbows up and round, drawing your belly button back as you exhale the elbows down. You can move just as much as you like here. This is an eagle arm variation. Just a couple more rounds here. Use your next inhale to come back to a straight, centered, tall spine. Exhale just to relax your shoulders down. And then next inhale, open up your arms. Let your hands float down for just a moment. If you have your legs crossed, switch the cross of your legs. If you're seated in a chair or with your legs out straight, you can totally skip that step. And then when you inhale, once again, open up your arms. And this time we're going to cross the opposite arm on top. Now, like me, you might have already forgotten which one that was. Just make it work for you. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, reach those elbows up. And exhale to point them down. And of course, you always have the choice to remain here in stillness. Just breathing your breath and focusing on that breath at the upper back. See if you can relax the muscles around your eyes. Release your jaw. One more full breath here, in and out. And then let's inhale to come back to a tall spine. Exhale to release your hands back to your lap, thighs or knees. And just take a moment here to notice what you notice. Notice the rebound effect of holding yourself like that. And then let's go ahead and get some movement here in the neck. So as you inhale here in the center, lengthen the back of your neck. As you exhale, just take your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then inhale to reach your head back to center and use your exhale, left ear, left shoulder. And then in your own timing, we'll just kind of go side to side here. Now you can stay right here. Or maybe the next time you bring your right ear towards the right shoulder, instead of going up through center, you might bring your chin down towards your heart and over to the left shoulder. So really just honoring whatever is right for you and your neck today. Just a couple more times to each side. Relaxing those shoulders down and keeping the muscles of your face as soft as you're able to. And the next time your left ear is near your left shoulder, that's the last time. If you're going down through the chin, bring your chin down towards your heart first. And then everybody bring the head right back up to the top of the spine. And then let's just roll those shoulders up and down and back. A couple more times. Let it be really nourishing for yourself without forcing, without making anything happen. And then let's get a little movement in the spine here. So we're going to twist from side to side. Let's inhale together. Reach your arms out and up as much as it feels good to you. That might not be very far. That might be all the way up. And as you exhale, twist to your right and let your hands just float down any amount. Inhale to bring your arms back up and through center. And exhale, float those arms down as you twist to the left. And again, we'll just kind of go side to side. Use your own breath. Go at a pace that feels good to you. Next time you twist to the right, we're just going to hang out here. Let your hands float down. They can land wherever it makes sense. Maybe that left hand just finds the front of your body. Maybe you bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh or knee. You can turn to look back over that right shoulder as much as it feels good in your neck. As you inhale here, let your spine grow a little taller, lengthen the back of your neck. And as you exhale, just soften into the twist. A couple more breaths right there. When you're ready to inhale, let's reach those arms back up as high as it works for you. And twist right on over to the left. Same thing over here. Hands can land wherever it makes sense for you today. You can turn and look back towards the left as much as your neck's happy with, and breathe your breath. And just notice what's happening along the length of your spine, what sensations are coming up in your neck and your shoulders, across your back, across your chest, whatever sensations are real for you today. And then use that next inhale to reach the arms all the way back up to the sky. Bring your palms together and exhale to bring your hands right here to meet your heart. Just a moment here with your breath, noticing what you notice. Just kind of hanging out with yourself, checking in with yourself. Then we're going to do a energizing breath here, Kalabate breath. So we're going to focus on the exhale. The inhale will kind of take care of itself. I'll demonstrate here for you. So we'll start with an inhale right here at the center. And as we exhale to the right, we're going to exhale strongly out the nose and kind of draw the belly button, the diaphragm up and in. So it's going to be, and the inhale just kind of does its own thing. So we're just focusing on the exhale. So the inhale happens here. We'll exhale to the right, inhale back to center, and exhale to the left. And you can move as fast or as slow as it feels good to you. I'll go ahead and get started, and you can just jump right in whenever it works. Inhale at the center, and then here we go. As you exhale, draw that belly button up and in. Again, relaxing the muscles of the face and only twisting as much as it feels good in your body. Just a few more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Release your hands to your thighs or knees. Palms down for a more grounding experience. Palms up for a more uplifting experience. And just notice the biochemical changes that you created in your body just by using that breath. You might notice some tingling, some flow of prana or life force in your body, a sense of being vital and alive. And then let's get some lateral movement here in the spine. So you can keep your hands right here resting in your lap, however it makes sense to you. And kind of like we did at the beginning where we swayed from side to side, we're going to do the same sort of movement. We'll inhale right here at the center. And as you exhale, we're just going to take a little side bend, including everything from the waistline up to the top of the head. And then we'll inhale back to center and exhale to bend over to the left or the opposite side. Now, again, make this your own by including or not including your arms. So you could keep your hands right here on your lap, or you could bring your right hand to your right hip or to your mat and reach that left arm up and over as much as it feels good as you tilt to the right. And then reaching the right arm over as much as it feels good as you tilt to the left. So hand on the hip if you're sitting in a chair, hand to your mat or your lap if you're on the floor. Just a couple more times to each side. You might bring your fingertips or your palm or maybe even your forearm down to the floor if you have the space and the range of motion in your body. Next time you take that side bend over to the right, we're going to stay right there. Whether you have the left arm lifted or not, we're just going to breathe here. And as you do, notice what happens in your left rib cage, the left side of your waist. See if you can keep that left leg grounded towards the earth. So we're not picking it up or picking up the hips here, but we want to keep our sit bones solid wherever they are. And you might, again, decide to breathe here in stillness. Or you might like to find a little movement, again, swaying forward and back. So you might sway to look down towards your right knee. And then open up to look up towards the sky. So find whatever movement or stillness works for you today. Listen to your body. Make sure that it agrees with whatever you've decided to do with it today. Just a couple more breaths here at the right. And if you're on the left, no worries, just go to the opposite side when we switch. One more full breath wherever you are. And then use your next inhale to center yourself. Come all the way back up to that tall spine. And then we'll exhale to the opposite side. Again, take a couple breaths right here in stillness before you go on any further in movement. Just notice how this is affecting the right side of your body or the stretching side of your body. Notice how you can anchor that right hip down towards the ground. Notice the intercostal muscles in between your ribs, getting a little more space, expanding the lung. And then if you decide to have some movement here, you might rotate to look down towards the ground and up to the sky. And just breathe as you move here, nice and soft and gentle. But also giving yourself some sensation. So we don't want to move beyond pain, of course, but we do want to have a little, possibly maybe some discomfort, almost like getting a massage where they're, working out the knots for you, and it just kind of hurts so good, if that makes sense, but we don't want any pain. One more full breath wherever you are. And then we'll inhale back to center and exhale, releasing any arms that might be floating up there. And then let's just shrug those shoulders up towards the ears and then down and back a couple times. And I always say a couple, 3, 4, because we all move at different speeds. So maybe it's only once, maybe it's 6 for you. And then we'll come back to that nice, tall, centered spine. And then let's get some movement here for the lower legs. So if you're sitting on the floor, we're going to go ahead and stretch those legs out nice and wide. Again, finding your edge. If you're sitting in a chair, just take your knees out as wide as you're able to and keep your feet on the ground. We're going to inhale nice and tall right here. As you exhale, you can have your hands on your thighs or on your hips or on the floor out in front of you and fold forward any amount, just getting a nice stretch here for the inner thigh. As you breathe here, see if you can really notice the sensation in the backs of your thighs, your low back. And again, remember to relax the muscles of your face. One more full breath here. And then let's inhale to come all the way back up to a tall spine. And then let's walk those hands over towards the right. so that you're looking towards your right knee. Inhale right here and exhale, hands to hips, maybe to the floor, maybe to your shin or even your foot. And just bow your heart down towards your right knee. And again, keep this left leg nice and anchored down. We're opening up the groin here, which is really nice for the lymph nodes. A couple more breaths here. And then let's inhale to come all the way back up to center. And we'll exhale to go to the left. Same thing here, just go as far as it feels good to you until you feel some sensation. Breathe your breath. Let your hands land wherever it makes sense for your body. One more full breath here. And then let's inhale back to a tall spine and back to center. If you're sitting on the ground, bend those knees, point them up towards the sky, bring your feet to the ground. If you're sitting on a chair, stay right where you are. We're just gonna windshield wiper those knees from side to side. If you're sitting on a pillow, now might be a good time to take that pillow out from underneath you. Give yourself a little more space. You can bring your knees down as close to the floor as it feels good to you, or you can keep them pretty uplifted and centered. Honor your experience. One more time to each side. And then we'll come back to center and we'll just bring those feet and knees back to parallel. If you're sitting in a chair, you're right there in your chair, all set up and ready to go. If you're sitting on the floor, let's stretch the legs out nice and long. And we're all just going to cross the right foot over the left. Just a nice little stretch here for this right hip. Now, if this is not enough for you, you could bend this right knee and bring your right ankle up to the top of your left thigh for more of a figure four stretch. That can happen whether you're on the floor or in your chair. We'll inhale, nice tall spine right here. And as you exhale, bow over that right leg as much as it feels good to you, drawing your heart towards that left foot. Breathe your breath. Notice what you notice. Soften where you're able to. You might notice you're clenching or bracing or holding tightness or tension. See where you can relax and soften any amount more. One more full breath here. And then let's inhale right back up to that tall spine. Exhale to unwind your legs. Maybe give them a little shimmy shake here. And then same thing, set opposite side, cross the left ankle over the right, or bend that left knee and bring the left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Make sure you're not putting any pressure on the right knee. We'll inhale a tall spine here, and then just exhale to fold forward. Breathe your breath. Remember to soften where you notice tension. One more full breath here. And then let's inhale right back up to that tall spine. Exhale, unwind your legs. Continue to breathe. Give them a little shimmy shake here. And then we want to get a little bit of a back bend here. So lots of possibilities. If you're sitting in a chair, stay where you are. Bring your hands to your hips or to the back of your seat. If you are on the floor, you might like to come up into a high kneeling posture. And you could have your toes tucked or untucked, whatever makes sense for your body. And then all of us with our hands either at our hips or on our chair, we're just going to inhale to look up towards the sky any amount. Open up across your chest. Lift your chin up as much as it feels good for your neck. Open up across your throat. And then exhale to come back to neutral. Let's inhale to open up. Exhale, back to neutral. Let's do that a few more times. Maybe you come back a little farther each time. If you're on your knees, you might like to go into a deeper camel pose. You could bring your hands down to the backs of your thighs. Or you might even be able to reach your hips or your heels back here. So whatever works for you, just a few more breaths here, allowing yourself to come in, come back out. Little arch of the spine, open the front of the body, and come back to neutral. Couple more times. And then we'll all come back to neutral and come back to whatever seat suits you best. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, get comfortable, relax, let yourself soften into your chair. If you are sitting on your mat, I invite you to come all the way down to your back. You might be sitting in or lying down with your knees bent and pointing up to the sky. You could use a pillow to support your head. You might lay in full shavasana, stretching your legs out, reaching your feet down to the bottom two corners of your mat, and letting your arms just be open at your sides. If you're sitting in a chair, let your palms rest gently in your lap, palms up. And just imagine you're a balloon. So the next time you inhale, imagine your whole body is inflating with your breath. And as you exhale, all the air is coming out of the balloon. You're simply softening, getting just empty, letting everything out. So inhale, fill up. And exhale, just letting go of whatever there is to let go. Just be with your breath without controlling anything, just trusting your body to do what it does. And as you rest here, I'd like to read a poem by Mary Oliver, one of my very favorites, called Wild Geese. You can find it online anywhere if you are interested in it. I just love this poem. So as you're resting with yourself, being the witness to your breath and the experience that you're having with your body. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. And just notice if those words resonate within you at all. I love that line, your place in the family of things. We are all a part of nature just as much as the trees and the rivers and the geese. We are all part of this beautiful planet, this wonderful creation. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have a purpose for being here. And thank you all for joining me today in this practice. If you are laying on the ground and your time allows for you to continue to rest in Shavasana, I highly encourage you to continue doing that. If you're ready to get on with the rest of your day, you might invite a little gentle movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, rotating your ankles and your wrists. Maybe taking a big full body stretch, and any last final movement that your body says, hey, I need some of that. Maybe you need another hug. Maybe you need another deep breath. And then if you are coming to a tall seat, I'd invite you to join me here. With an inhale, we'll reach our arms out and up towards the sky. And with an exhale, we'll bring them right on down to meet our hearts. Honoring yourself, holding yourself dearly. May you walk gently, may you breathe deeply, and may you love fully. The spark of light in me honors that same spark of the divine within each of you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm just going to come back to the monitor and stop the recording. Gosh, that went by so fast. And if you haven't already, please make sure you put your contact